Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining our webinar today. Today, we'll be covering InfoComm. We're going to be doing a quick sneak peek into the cool new products that we have at the booth. But before we dive in, I just want to go over a couple of quick housekeeping items. As always, our Q&A function is open, so please feel free to drop in your comments, your questions, and we will do our best to get to them at the end of the webinar. And then secondly, we are raffling off our WPD 900. I wish I had one in person. I just had one at my desk, but it's our small wireless casting dongle. It's really convenient. It's great for conference room solutions. And so if you are a lucky winner, we will contact you via email. So stick around till the end of the webinar. Oh, we have one right here. Thank you. Yeah, it's great. We use it all the time here in our headquarter office as well. And with that, we're going to kick it off with a really quick recap video from our InfoComm booth of last year.
For us, it was more than just a trade show. It was a full-on team effort that brought us together. Our best to the forefront. This year's InfoComm was so memorable. And what's one of the most memorable moments? It was definitely our dvLED hanging sign and us putting it together above that show floor. We only had a few days to do this and it was all hands on deck, but the hustle was really worth it. And here's our booth that showcased everything from dvLED solutions to MTR integrations, all tied together with our interactive and non-interactive displays. It really was a great opportunity for us to show how our tech helps create real-world collaboration. And one of my personal favorite things was really the synergy and the teamwork that came all together. We have sales leaders, product managers, field solutions, marketing, all here together to pull this off. And of course, these are our sales folks doing videos at the booth. Shout out to our very own Ryan Strayer. I know some of you are not comfortable doing videos on camera, but really, they came out of their comfort zone to film these. And hey, you guys make our LinkedIn posts look great. So really awesome job. And this is me doing a booth tour with Rave first thing on Thursday morning. Shout out to Steph Beckett and Rave for making this booth tour really easy and fun. And it's such a pleasure to always work with you guys. So really, thank you to everyone who made InfoComm so unforgettable. I'm so excited to see what we have in store for you guys next year. See you all in Vegas.
Awesome. So yeah, that was our recap video from last year. I forgot to introduce one of our special speakers to our webinar. Hey there.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Do you want to give a quick intro of yourself?
Sure. Yeah. So my name's Shane. I've been sitting here awkwardly for a couple minutes, but happy to be here. No, all good. So I am one of our product managers here at ViewSonic, covering our Pro AV products like DirectView LEDs. It was really cool seeing that video, though. We had a lot of fun last year and introduced a lot of cool stuff, and happy to kind of do the sequel to that this year and got a lot of cool stuff coming as well. So
yeah, it's pretty crazy because that video, so that was from last year's InfoComm. We had a lot of DirectView LED at our booth last year as well in Orlando. I remember our hanging sign. That was kind of our big and new thing. This year, we have even more innovative and fun things. But first, I want to kind of cover our theme. Our theme is People First, Pro AV Ready, and that's kind of just been our InfoComm as well as our company theme. And so actually, I want to ask you, Shane, like, what do you think that means, People First?
Yeah, so that's kind of been our mantra because we talk about our products and, you know, everyone's showing off products, but it's more than products, it's more than specs. It's about how can we partner with you to provide these large scale experiences? How can we make it as easy as possible to do that? Whether it's DirectView LED, commercial displays, or what interactive flat panels, or even going all the way down to small monitors and everything in between. You know, we've been working and innovating in the display space for almost 40 years now. So how can we bring that experience to help be a partner to you to make that happen? So when we're going through our booth, it's not going to be so much product focus. Of course, we're going to go over the products. That's what people want to see and be able to touch and feel. But it's really about the solutions, right? How can we provide these solutions to you, whether it's a corporate conference room environment, whether it's an educational environment, and how are those accomplishing the goals of that space? So it's really about how we interact in that overall AV ecosystem as display products. It is the focal point of the room, but it's never the only point in the room. It's part of a
Right.
much larger system. There's audio, of course, your inputs to it. How's that getting there? Control, how is that compatibility working? How do we fit in that overall AV ecosystem? And so when we talk about that integration, that's really what we're talking about. Is it's more than specs, it's more than products, it's how we fit in that overall ecosystem and how ViewSonic can be a partner in doing that.
Yeah, and I think you talked a lot about integration, right?
Mhm.
Like kind of integrating our solutions within your existing ecosystem. And with that, I think comes a lot of that partnership aspect because we work very closely with you, right? From start to finish. We don't just sell specs or products. Like there's this long process that goes into that installation and also that post-installation support, right? When things need to be troubleshooted. And kind of really, I think it's really just driving that trust to our partners, end users, integrators. I mean, there's so many parties involved usually when you're outfitting a space like this. We're actually in one of our briefing room spaces right now where we hold important meetings in here. And so, yeah, behind us are our CD displays, which we'll cover in a little bit. But yeah, I think it kind of really talks about that partnership aspect. You are our DirectView LED product manager. And so that's
True.
And so, yeah, we have you here because we are going to be showing a lot of our dvLED products at our booth this year. We are located in Central Hall, 7010. Is there anything cool or what are some sneak peeks our audience can look forward to?
Yeah, so we like Mina said, we're going to be in Central Hall. We're going to have a big presence there. Kind of like I was alluding to before, all of it's going to be very solutions driven. So it's not going to be like disparate products around there. We're going to have kind of distinct areas that I think we're gonna go through. But some of the key things we want to highlight is we've kind of got two things going in parallel: is how we're innovating and leading, but then also how we're making things simpler and how we're making it easier to accomplish these large scale display systems. How do we increase the technology and innovate? And it's not even about part of it's going to be the latest technology to make the image look better, and part of it's going to be the latest technology to make things easier. So there's a few ways we're going to do that. One of our flagship things that we're going to be showing is we are going to be showing a DirectView LED with MIP technology or micro LED in package. That is going to be one of the latest DirectView LED technologies. It looks phenomenal. It's going to have deeper blacks, higher contrast ratios, better color uniformity, more energy efficient as well. So they're going to run cooler. So we're going to be showcasing that just as a way of showing like, hey, we are leading this path of not only the latest technology, but we're doing that within all-in-one simplicity. So it's going to be one of the only products out there, one of the only solutions out there that's going to offer that level of visual fidelity while still maintaining that all-in-one simplicity that you expect from ViewSonic. So just a quick kind of recap of how we work with DirectView LED is all of our products are all-in-one because we want to maintain that simplicity. It's a single part number. We ship everything that's needed to come with it. It's going to come with cabinets, the mounts, the tiles, the processor, the power supply, everything's inside of it. We're going to maintain that with MIP technology as well. So you're going to see that there. We're going to be showcasing that. We're also showcasing simplicity. So we have made some innovations in the all-in-one space. So one of the key parts of all-in-one is that the controller and everything is all part of it. Now, typically it's an external control box, if you will, and that's fairly common. And we're still going to have that for those more complicated systems, but we're also going to be showing off our DirectView LEDs where that controller is built into the cabinets. It's built into the DirectView LED. So that greatly simplifies the process for integration. You no longer have that external box and those external connections. It's a series of ribbon cables and a couple power cables. It's almost as easy as a commercial display. So that's why I say that innovation is not just limited to bigger and better visually, but also how can we make it easier? Because that's ultimately what we're trying to do. How do we make it so it's easier to spec, easier to install, easier to service? And that LDE line is what I'm referring to. We're going to have a few of those across the booth in different applications, so you'll be able to see those. We're also going to be showcasing some iterations where maybe it's not this big thing, but we're in our 4th generation of our mobile DirectView LED. So if you've ever been to any of our trade shows or into our office here in our Brea headquarters in California, you've seen our mobile foldable DirectView LED. Currently, we're in our 3rd generation, and at InfoComm, we're going to be showing off our 4th generation of this product. We've been a leader in this mobile space since we came out with it a couple years ago, and we're going to be showcasing how we took real-world feedback and integrated into it. So you're going to see how high it goes. That's going to be one of the bigger things, is that now we can go even higher than before, as well as a lot of things just to make things more accessible, make it simpler, whether it's port accessibility, additions of things like OPS slots, give more future expandability. So we're going to be showing that off live as well in person.
Yeah, I love that mobile dvLED. That one's always like a hit at our booth. And then, you know, some of you may actually seen our videos where Shane and I unpack the previous generation. It's pretty simple. It comes in that box and everything that you need is there. So you just unpack it and then plug and play. And so I'm really excited for the 4th generation. And as Shane mentioned, what's really unique about it here at ViewSonic is like we take customer feedback really seriously. So we don't just design these products, we have really incorporated that customer feedback. And it's kind of crazy, we're already in our 4th generation. So we are constantly iterating and making improvements upon that. You mentioned our LDE line, so that's our simplified OS. You kind of mentioned the ribbon cables, things, that control bar being built in. Anything else that you want to highlight to our audience?
Yeah, so I mentioned how simple it is. It's like me to mention, it's actually a simplified OS as well. So no pre-installed apps, no ability to install apps, even no Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So when you're working in these more simplified environments where you just want a large display at a very cost-effective price with the simplest integration and simplest operation, that's what you're looking for. And that's feedback we got from our customers as well. A lot of the more complicated systems are great because it gives you a lot of flexibility, and that can be used in a lot of environments. But we're finding more and more that as the technology for direct view LED increased, as the costs were coming down, a lot of times we really just needed an alternative to LCD video walls, whether it was replacing ones or just going in with it, as well as projector alternatives as well to get that full direct view LED experience, maybe without all the bells and whistles, but you still want that visual fidelity and you still want the reliability of ViewSonic direct view LEDs. Because another thing that we do here is all of our direct view LEDs have some sort of protective coating on it, whether it's SMD with glue on board, whether it's chip on board, the new MIP technology that we're going to be showcasing. All of our direct view LEDs are IP and IK rated. So we still maintain that because these are going to be used in heavy use environments. The other kind of interesting thing, aside from being a LCD video wall replacement, is we were seeing more displays that were, let's say, like 110, 115 inches. They look fantastic, but they're very heavy and oftentimes don't fit in don't fit in regular elevators, only freight elevators, and they don't really go upstairs super easily. So if you're on the 2nd floor or higher, you were limited in what size of display you could use. Whereas the LDE series, is being part of a direct view LED, they're modular, so they actually come in pieces. They ship in a crate, so you can put it in a regular passenger elevator and move it up the floor. So if you're looking for an alternative to LCD video walls, a projector, or even a large 110, 115-inch display on that 2nd floor or higher, that's when you want to look for the LDE. And we're going to be showing that 108-inch LDE at InfoComm so that our customers can see it in person.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that 108-inch. And I think just to kind of recap, Shane, you talked about we're showing our latest and greatest technology, so the MIP, and that will be featured on our dvLEDs. We've got new products, but really importantly, you kind of mentioned that simplicity, accessibility. We're trying to make it as easy for you as possible to integrate these into your, whether it's enterprise environments or higher ed, auditoriums, all the different settings, and really making sure that we're there for you every step of the way. And I think this is actually a really perfect transition because especially for our direct view LED, we have our solutions engineering team that gets very involved, right? From this process, from quoting to speccing out the space to kind of making recommendations to our customers. And so with that, I am going to bring on John Cruz to our webinar.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, John. Can you give us a quick intro to our audience?
Absolutely. So my name's John, and I run our solutions engineering team here at ViewSonic. And ultimately, the goal is to support you, whether you're our partner or whether you're our end customer, because all of these big, beautiful ViewSonic displays, products, they're going to be used somewhere, right? So what we want to do in solutions is make sure that we're getting the right product and we're enabling it to work in the right way for your specific use case. So for ViewSonic, it's similar to most of the rest of the Pro AV industry, right? Solutions engineering is a pretty common thing. So our goal is to be a part of the process from ideation all the way through implementation to build out and deploy the right solution. So that could look like design consultation. It could look like integration support. Shane mentioned all the different ways that we can control a space, for example, and that needs to include our display. System validation, deployment commissioning, especially when it comes to dvLED, and then ongoing optimization as we continue to deploy new features or new implementation options down the road.
No.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Sean. So let's actually dive into some of what the solution engineering team does, because I feel like it's just as important as the products we offer. So I mentioned we kind of have a holistic approach to how ViewSonic partners with you, right? We have ViewSonic as the company. And again, we have that almost 40-year legacy, right? We've been here for a while. We're US-based. We have US-based tech support. We have US-based stock of our direct LEDs and commercial displays. But then we also have our US-based solutions engineering team, like John. So part of that process in the partnership is not only making sure that the products are as simple as possible and easy to integrate, but also how folks like John and his team are partnering with you to make that happen. So I just kind of wanted to go through what that kind of looks like in practice, though. So we have, let's say you're interested in a direct LED, using that as an example, right? Where do you start? A lot of times that is very difficult. Now, if you want to know more about how to design direct LEDs, we're gonna go over some classes we're showing at InfoComm a little later.
Great plug.
But let's say I want to look at a direct LED in this space. Where do you even start? Well, you don't have to be the direct LED expert. You can let us be the direct LED experts. Reach out to your ViewSonic representative, and they'll schedule a call with someone like John or someone from his team and do what's called a design consultation. So that's kind of the first step in the process. So John, can you kind of go over a little bit more about what that design consultation will look like when you and your team get involved in that with the customer?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Shane. Well, it really comes down to, again, making sure that we get the right products in the right place, implemented and installed in the right way. So that starts with use case. What's the intended use of this? Let's walk through the space. Where is it going to be installed? What's the condition of the wall? Is this a new build or is this a retrofit or refresh of an existing space? How do we want to power? Are we running new power and we want to do 240 volt power? Or are we going to use some existing circuits and we want to do 120 volt power? So we work through all of those options to figure out what's going to fit. How's it going to be used? How do we want to power it? What are we going to connect to it then? What are our sources? How are we going to control it? Are we going to use just a simple remote control, or are we going to integrate it into a command and control system? So what my team brings is a CTS certified team that has a lot of real world field-based experience. We are out doing these things. Yes, we'll be on a call with you as part of a design consultation, but we're also out physically installing them weekly, multiple times a week. And so to borrow a line, I think, from a non-industry company, we've seen a thing or two, so we know a thing or two. And we want to bring that experience not at the end. We don't want to fix. We want to bring it in right at the beginning and design and implement the right solution all the way through.
So when John says we've seen a thing or two, he's not joking. Members of our field or our solutions engineering team have been with ViewSonic for close to 30 years in some cases. So these guys have seen a lot of things. They've been on site and they can bring that real world experience with that design and kind of help guide you through it so that you can get a quote and you can be confident that that's the right solution for what you need. Ask the right questions that maybe we're not thinking of, and maybe you do have to go back to the stakeholders involved to ask those questions. But at least now you're more equipped with that information, and you're going to leave with a quote for exactly what you need. But that's not the end of the process. There are some other layers to that. Once you do purchase your ViewSonic Direct LED, then we go to what's called a pre-installation checklist. You're going to hop on the phone with a member of our solutions engineering team, and everything that was discussed during that design consultation, what power do you need, how, the wall material, backing, things like that, a lot of that then gets addressed again to make sure, like, hey, when we're going on site, is everything going to be where it needs to be? Direct LED is and Pro AV in general is very much a measure twice, cut once sort of environment. So the more we prep on the front end, the easier the install is going to go. So they're there to help with that. Even for some things that maybe fall outside, like, hey, do we need a lift? That's a common one, right? You get on site and you're like, this ladder's not going to work. We need a lift. Well, you can't just go to the store and get one. Those are things you have to plan for. You have to rent things like that. So they go over that. Where's the power? Was it put in the right place? Things like that.
Power is usually a common one.
Power is
a
very common one. Yeah, that we run into a lot in terms of making sure the power is where it's not only is it there, is it where it needs to be.
Right.
They go over that on the design consultation. We go over that in our installation certification course as well, which we'll plug later as well. So we have a lot of resources to help with that. But the solutions engineering team is a critical part of making sure that the job or the project's going to be ready. And then for dvLED, a member of our field solutions team or our solutions engineering team will also be going on site to help kind of guide that install as well. So it's a holistic process. And then, like I mentioned, on the back end of that, we do have a US-based tech support team with dvLED specialists as part of that. So if there are any issues, you can reach out to us. We're all here on the same time zones, and we can help make sure that system's fixed and operational for the life of that system. So
yeah, we're really like the dvLED specialist for you. And I think, thank you, John, for all of that. Like, it's really supportive. I think like just knowing that you and your team are there to help the partners and the end users along the way.
Not only are they there, they will also be at InfoComm.
I was just gonna say that, yeah.
So
and we'll be there too.
We're going to be there too.
Come say hi.
Yeah, come say hi at our booth, 7010 Central Hall. We'll keep repeating
We'll be there.
Yeah, all of our field solutions or our solutions engineering team is going to be there. So yeah, come by and say hi if you want to meet any of us in person. So, well, with that, we're going to move on to our next section, which is, we talked about dvLED, but let's talk about some of our commercial displays and that overall ecosystem.
And
so
we're sitting in front of two of them right now.
So looks can be deceiving, but behind us is actually one of the new series we're going to be showing off at InfoComm. I mentioned simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. That is going to be an overarching theme as well. And kind of how are we people first and Pro AV ready? We're making everything as simple as possible, including the solution. So these look like regular displays. However, they are intentionally designed to be as simple as possible. So you're going to see these in person, but these are OS-less displays, plug and play. So if you've got MTR room, Zoom room, Cisco, etc., we don't need Android OSs. We don't want long boot up times. We want to turn it on, plug it in, and go. These are going to be what you're looking for. They're still 24/7 from a reliability standpoint. They still have the proper amount of haze, the brightness, etc. Everything you expect from a commercial display, but just very simple operation, very plug and play, not a lot of headaches. And they also integrate with the control systems as well and fit in with that Pro AV ecosystem. So they're going to be QSys library verified, Crestron, Extron, et cetera, et cetera. So,
yeah, I was going to say they are very bright. Yeah.
They are very bright. And when you're doing large deployments as well, if you're doing multiple rooms, you want it to be as simple as possible. You know, even adding a couple minutes to each room adds up as you're doing it. So the fact that you can plug these in and get them working immediately will make life a lot easier for those deployments.
So these are our G3 series, as Shane mentioned, the OS-less. I know we have a family of CDs that will also show at our booth. I think we have our 14 and our 31 series, correct?
Yeah, so when we talk about our OS list, that G, when you see the G in there, that's going to signify that it's OS, so the G3. But we also have our commercial displays, our CDEs, in various series of 24/7 and 16/7 from a reliability standpoint that are made more for also signage environments or conferencing environments where you do want some of that technology built in. So if you want wireless syncing built in, wireless sharing built in, if you want digital signage content from CMS providers that are built into it without needing an external box, that's when you'd look at our other commercial displays, which we'll also have there. So we're going to have our whole assortment of direct view LEDs and commercial displays there, so you can come see it in person. You can, they'll all be live. So if you did want to test out the differences between some of these, you can see them live. See how good they are.
And if you ever need a demo, one of our staff will be there as well.
Yeah.
I kind of want to pivot a little bit to our training opportunities, because I think, Shane, you did a couple of soft plugs earlier on some of the sessions, because we are hosting 2 sessions actually during InfoComm.
That's true. So if
one
you
of them,
can stand the sound of my voice on this webinar, then you could also hear me do this for an hour at InfoComm. No, so we have 2 sessions at InfoComm. One of them is on Wednesday at 11 a.m. So first day of the show, right before lunch, when everyone will be nice and hangry. But
hosted by
myself.
Truly.
Yes, on DirectView LED design. So it's a CTS. You'll get 1 CTS RU for doing it. But we're going to make it as simple as possible in terms of, hey, what do you need to confidently specify DirectView LED? How can we kind of demystify this? What are the key things that you can go in and you can walk away pretty confident in, hey, this is what we need to know. These are the right questions to ask. These are some of the scenarios. We're going to take all of that experience and give it to you so that you can go out and specify those DirectView LEDs in a really easy and confident way. So that's going to be on Wednesday at 11. On Thursday at 11, we're going to have one focused on installation. So one of our solutions engineers who's been doing this for quite some time is going to be hosting it. I'll be there as well, just more as more support, you know. But
yeah, same.
Yes. But one of our solution engineers is going to be there hosting that class with tips and tricks for DirectView LED installations. So we've seen a lot of things like John mentioned. And so we're going to bring that real world experience to, hey, when we're installing DirectView LEDs, here are some tips and tricks. Now it's going to be a lot of information in 1 hour, but it's going to be a lot of good information that you can take away and actionable information that you can take away to help make your DirectView LED, whether it's designs for the Wednesday course or whether it's installations on the Thursday course. It is a bit of a sneak preview of our larger trainings. So I'll pitch that as well, that we do have. If you like that, we do have a 1.5-day long DirectView LED installation certification training. Now that won't be at InfoComm, but we are hosting that shortly afterwards in our Brea headquarters. So July 21st and July 22nd, we do have a DirectView installation certification class. Learn how to install DirectView LEDs hands-on. So it's a hands-on course. Provides CTS RUs. It's taught by our solutions engineering team. So these are the same team that are going on site and doing these. They've seen it all, and they're going to show you physically how to install these so that you can have beautiful DirectView LEDs, get your CTS RUs, become certified in that. So just wanted to mention that, but we hope to see you there for the trainings as well. And again, both classes do have 1 CTS RU. So if you would like to learn more and get some CTS RU units, we'd love to see you there at both of those classes.
And during those sessions at InfoComm, we are actually giving away a few of those WPD 900s. We'll kind of do like a short Q&A at the end, and then we'll hand a couple of those out. So we will also be there as well as our solutions engineer team. So be on the lookout for that. We talked a lot about conference room solutions, dvLED, and kind of in that B2B environment. But I know that we also have a higher ed, like education section at our booth.
Yeah, we've been mostly because I like DirectView LEDs a lot, clearly.
Yeah.
We've been really focused on that, but that's going to be about half our booth is going to be the commercial displays and the DirectView LED. The other half is going to be showcasing our education solutions. So we have a large array of education-focused solutions as well in our interactive flat panels. So we're going to be showing various generations of that, or excuse me, various interactive flat panels series. We'll also show some that are focused on corporate environments as well. So we're going to have that there, as well as DirectView LED in the higher education space. We're going to be showcasing some scenarios there where specifically for like lecture halls and things like that, paired with one of our 4K panels that could feed that, our ID panels. So if you want to see that live, we'll have that set up. And as well as our software. So we are going to have live demos, interactive demos of our software, whether it's Manage or Advanced, whether it's AirSync, we'll have that there as well. So again, that's going to be the other half of the booth. We're going to have a lot of great products there, again, showcasing that education as well as kind of corporate environments for those interactive flat panels. We'll also have some monitors there. We'll have some projectors there.
Yeah.
So we have our full array of display solutions. I think I mentioned, from, a couple inch monitors all the way up to our custom solutions, DirectView LED, and everything in between. We're gonna have them there.
Yeah.
So we've got some surprises still left in there on some of that when you see the actual booth.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have the full kit and caboodle when it comes to ViewSonic products.
And we'll also have like our leadership team in
We
attendance
will.
as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be great. And so, you know, you kind of mentioned a little bit about QSys, Crestron, Extron, a little bit about our partnerships. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, especially for IFPs, CDs, and dvLEDs?
Yeah, as I
Yeah.
kind of mentioned earlier, our products don't live in isolation, and really no Pro AV products do, right? These are part of larger systems. They may be the focal point of it, but there is something driving it. There's an input source going into it. There's a control system that's controlling it. Perhaps there's software interacting with it. There's content management providers. There's a whole slew of solutions that are surrounding it. And so we want to make sure that we're fitting into this as seamlessly as possible. And so with that, we do have partnerships with key manufacturers that do support the products. So for instance, you know, QSys is a really strong partner of ours. Sennheiser, we'll have a few of our partners there. If they're not in the booth though, that doesn't mean we don't partner with them. So we'll be showcasing off just some of who our partners are even outside of that booth. But it's something we take pretty seriously here because again, we do know how tightly these need to integrate. And when they don't integrate well, that complicates things,
Right.
Makes installs difficult, makes operation difficult. So we want to be as easy to work with as possible. So yeah, those partnerships across that Pro AV ecosystem is something that we take pretty seriously, and we'll be showcasing some of that at InfoComm too.
And we also have like a partner wall section at our booth.
Yeah.
So we'll also be highlighting some partners as well. So great. I think we talked a lot. I think that was a pretty good sneak peek of what we're planning to show. I can't believe it's like in a week and a half.
Yeah.
So we'll see you there. I do want to just go over any Q&A that we had. Let me take a look. It's about the dvLED sessions that we're hosting at InfoComm. Where would be kind of a good place for people to sign up for those?
Yeah, so those are actually managed by Avixa themselves in terms of the enrollment. So you go onto the Avixa website. They have a list of courses. It's not just ours. There's a lot of great courses being hosted by various manufacturers, as well as Avixa itself. So you would find it on the website there, and then you would register through the Avixa portal.
Okay, so you do have to sign up beforehand.
Correct. You do sign up beforehand.
Okay.
When you go there, you do have to sign in to make sure that you attend, and that's how you're going to get your CTSRUs as well.
Gotcha. Okay. And then our last question here, it was about the 108-inch. I think it was for the LDE that you had kind of mentioned earlier. What makes that different versus like other LCD alternatives?
Yeah, so I did mention a few times that it was an alternative to maybe a video wall. So that 108-inch frame, like that 108-inch size, is going to be similar to a 2x2 of 55-inch displays, which is pretty common for like an LCD video wall. Now, an LCD video wall, though, would be similar to this, where you would have visible bezels right between those two. That doesn't look like one clean screen. Now, this is a dual display application in a conference room, so this is exactly what you're looking for. But if you did want it to look like one clean image, you're going to have those visible bezels. When you work with DirectView LED, like the LDE, those bezels are gone, and it's one large image. So if you have a 2x2 55-inch LCD, you have the bezels. If you do the 108-inch, it's all one giant screen. And then I also mentioned to kind of from a deployment standpoint, you can get it into regular passenger elevators. You can get it into like stairways. I probably wouldn't, it's pretty heavy, but you can at least get it into regular elevators. So it's modular, and so it goes up in pieces. Versus the LCD walls, the LCDs that are like 110 inches that may not fit into it, as well as, and this is more in DirectView LED in general, they are a little bit or a lot easier to service. They're all going to be front serviceable, where let's say you have dead pixels or damage to the tile, you can pop out the tile and hot swap it with a spare. We include 5% spares. Versus like an LCD wall, if something does go bad, you have to take the entire panel down.
Right.
You have to replace it. It might not be color calibrated. It's a whole thing. So with the direct view, it just kind of simplifies not only that front end install, but it simplifies the post installation support as well.
Yeah, and I forgot, we do also have that installation section at our booth where we will show that live.
We should have mentioned that.
Yeah.
So we kept talking about all the products, but yeah, we have a section of how the direct views do install. And we have the suction tool. So if you want, you can actually take the tiles off and reapply them yourself. It's an interactive station with real world product.
Yeah.
So it's not just about coming in and seeing the products and the solutions in action in the spaces we've kind of set up, but also seeing some of the things like the installation, We mentioned we're going to have our mobile direct view LED as well, so you'll get to physically touch and feel that and see it. We'll also have
Fold
the,
it and
and
unfold
fold it,
it.
yeah, and
Yes.
height adjust it up and down.
Yes.
But
The
also
remote.
with the remote,
Yes.
yeah. And then we'll also have the case there as well. So the flight case that comes with it is also going to be there. So we'll have everything that you can physically see. That's really the great thing about these shows is, a lot of our products are so big that it's hard, we can't just throw this in our suitcase and bring it around. It's really seeing is believing with a lot of these. And so it gives us a good opportunity to show it off in person. And then it gives you an opportunity to see it in person where you otherwise might not see it. So yeah, come by. We'd love to see you, show you everything.
We'd love to meet you.
Give you a tour, yeah.
Well, thank you for that. And thank you, John, as well, for hopping on our webinar. We look forward to seeing everyone at InfoComm. And for those who won't be able to attend in person, follow us on LinkedIn. We will be posting real-time videos, demos, kind of activities across the booth. So it'll be like you're there. Thank you.